The air in Min's mini-mart was thick with the scent of stale coffee and desperation. Karen waddled in like she owned the world, her floral muumuu straining at the seams, her son Tyler trailing behind, already eyeing the candy aisle with sticky fingers. Min, the store's owner, was used to trouble. His little shop, nestled in a quiet suburban strip mall, had seen its share of shoplifters and complainers. But Karen was a different beast. She didn't just walk, she stormed, her flip-flops slapping the linoleum like a war drum. Tyler, a carbon copy of her attitude, grabbed a bag of gummy worms and ripped it open without a second thought. Min, behind the counter, sighed but said nothing. He'd learned to pick his battles. Karen's voice boomed before she even reached the counter. "Why's your milk so expensive? $2 more than Food Mart. You ripping people off." Her eyes, small and sharp in her doughy face, pinned Min like he was a thief caught red-handed. Tyler, meanwhile, was now tossing candy wrappers onto the floor, giggling as he did it. Min forced a smile. "Ma'am, our prices are competitive. We're a small business, not a chain." His voice was calm, but his hands gripped the counter's edge. Karen snorted, loud enough to turn heads. The only other customer, an elderly woman named Mrs. Carter, clutched her purse and shuffled toward the door, sensing a storm brewing. Small business? More like small-time scam. Karen snapped, her chins wobbling as she leaned forward. "I'm not paying $5 for milk. You're gonna comp this, or I'm calling corporate." Min blinked. Corporate? This was his store, his life's savings poured into every shelf. He opened his mouth to respond, but Tyler interrupted by knocking over a display of canned soup. The cans clattered to the floor, one rolling under a freezer. "Tyler, honey, don't touch the junk in this dump," Karen said, not even glancing at the mess. Min's jaw tightened. He stepped out from behind the counter, motioning to the spilled cans. "Ma'am, please control your son. He's damaging my store." Karen whipped around, her face reddening. "Don't you dare tell me how to raise my kid. You're lucky we even shop here." She grabbed a bottle of soda from a nearby shelf and thrust it at Min. "This is warm. Your coolers are broken. I want a refund for everything in my cart." Her cart was a single basket with the torn gummy worms and a half-eaten bag of chips Tyler had already dug into. Min's patience was fraying. "Ma'am, you haven't paid for anything yet, and your son is making a mess. Please, just don't you ma'am me," Karen shrieked, her voice hitting a pitch that made Min wince. She shoved the basket onto the counter, knocking over a jar of pens. "You're discriminating against me because I'm a single mom. I know my rights." Tyler, emboldened by his mother's tantrum, grabbed a glass bottle of cola and smashed it on the floor. The liquid fizzed and spread, soaking Min's shoes. That was the breaking point. Min's voice, usually soft, rose. "Enough. You're destroying my store. Get out, or I'm calling the police." Karen laughed, a harsh, mocking sound. "Go ahead, call them. I'm not leaving until you comp my stuff and apologize for disrespecting me." The door chimed, and in walked Sarah, the store's part-time manager. Sarah was young, barely 25, but she had a no-nonsense streak that Min relied on. She took one look at the chaos: spilled soda, scattered cans. Karen's towering indignation in her eyes narrowed. "What's going on here?" she asked, her voice steady but sharp. Karen spun toward her, sensing a new target. "Oh, great, another minimum wage nobody. Your boss here is ripping me off and insulting me. I'm a valued customer." Sarah raised an eyebrow, glancing at the mess Tyler was now adding to by kicking a bag of flour, sending white powder puffing into the air. "Valued customer?" Sarah said, her tone dripping with disbelief. "You're trashing the place, and your kid's acting like a tornado. Pay for what you took, or leave." Now, Min watched, half relieved, half terrified, as Sarah stood her ground. Karen's face contorted, her smugness morphing into rage. "You little brat." Karen spat, stepping closer to Sarah. "You can't talk to me like that. I'm friends with the HOA president. I'll have this dump shut down." Tyler, picking up on his mother's energy, threw a candy bar at Sarah. It missed, but hit a shelf, knocking over a row of cereal boxes. Sarah didn't flinch. She pulled out her phone and started filming. "Keep going," she said coolly. The police will love this. Karen froze, her eyes darting to the phone, then back to Sarah. For a moment, it seemed like she might back down. But Karen wasn't one to retreat. She lunged forward, trying to snatch the phone from Sarah's hand. Min acted on instinct, stepping between them. "Stop it," he shouted, his voice echoing in the small store. Karen shoved him, her bulk sending him stumbling into a display of chips. The crunch of plastic bags under his feet was drowned out by her screeching. "You're assaulting me. I'll sue you all." Sarah, still filming, dialed 911. "Yeah. Hi. We've got a customer destroying the store and assaulting staff. Min's Mini Mart on Oak Street. Send someone quick." Karen's eyes widened, but instead of stopping, she doubled down, grabbing items off shelves and throwing them to the floor, jars of pickles, boxes of pasta, anything within reach. Tyler cheered, mimicking her by tossing more candy. The police arrived faster than Min expected. 2 officers, one tall and stern, the other shorter with a calm demeanor, stepped through the door. The tall one, Officer Daniels, took one look at the chaos and sighed. "Ma'am, step back and explain yourself," he said, his voice firm. Karen, undeterred, launched into a tirade. "These people attacked me. They're scamming customers and targeting single moms. I'm the victim here." Tyler, now hiding behind her, peeked out, his face smeared with chocolate. Sarah held up her phone, showing the officer the video. Min, still catching his breath, pointed to the shattered glass and scattered goods. Officer Daniels watched the footage, his expression hardening. "Ma'am, you're on video assaulting staff and destroying property. You're coming with us." Karen's jaw dropped, her bravado crumbling. "You can't arrest me. I'm a homeowner. I have rights." The second officer, already holding handcuffs, stepped forward. "You have the right to remain silent," he began, as Karen's protests grew shriller. Tyler started crying, clinging to his mother's leg. Min felt a pang of sympathy, not for Karen, but for the kid, caught in her chaos. Mrs. Carter, who had lingered outside, poked her head in. "Serves her right," she muttered, loud enough for Min to hear. He managed a weak smile. As the officers led Karen out, still shouting about her HOA connections, Sarah helped Min pick up the pieces literally. Broken glass, spilled flour, and crushed chips littered the floor. The damage would cost hundreds, maybe thousands, to fix. But as Min swept up the mess, he felt a strange relief. Karen's reign of terror was over, at least for today. Word spread fast. By evening, neighbors stopped by, offering to help clean or donate to repairs. Mrs. Carter brought homemade cookies, her way of saying thanks for standing up to the neighborhood bully. Sarah posted the video online, and it went viral. Karen's meltdown became the talk of the town, a cautionary tale of entitlement run amok. Min sat behind the counter that night, the store quiet again. He thought about Karen, now facing charges for vandalism and assault. He thought about Tyler, who'd grow up under her shadow. And he thought about his little store, still standing despite it all. It wasn't just about money or goods, it was about dignity, about refusing to let someone like Karen walk over him. The lesson wasn't lost on Min. People like Karen thrived on intimidation, but they crumbled when faced with consequences. As he locked up, he glanced at the crumpled paper bag on the floor, the one Sarah had scribbled on during the chaos. Karen's chaos. Store wrecked. He chuckled, shaking his head. Maybe he'd frame it. The end.